Okay, we are back on the 481. We're getting ready to set this thing in Candy Cane today. We got it all ready. I've got the 402 sitting here on this stand. It's got the good old massive oil leak on the back of the intake. We'll do something with that later on. But right now, we're going to be setting this 481 into Candy Cane and see if we can get this thing fired up this week. I don't have the fuel pump for it yet. I mean, I could put my stock fuel pump on here until the other one comes in. So we'll just see. I don't even have the spark plugs for this engine yet. Those haven't came in. Anyway, we've got a lot of boxes that need to be burnt. I've got boxes from things I've been buying and boxes collected here. I need to burn all those boxes. I live way out in the country. There's no recycle centers in this area for doing cardboard recycling, and I'm not throwing all those in the landfill. I just burn them. It's the easiest thing to do around here. So let me get those boxes burnt, and we'll get back on Candy Cane. We'll get it pushed in and get this 481 set down on the motor mounts, get the transmission all bolted up, and we'll go from there. Stick around. We got these boxes burned. Let's get some work done on Candy Cane. Kind of interesting hearing what this big cam 481 is going to sound like sitting there idling. Here we go. We're getting started on the 481. Got it hooked up to the cherry picker. We're going to take a couple bolts out of this hood, stand it almost straight up, set this motor down in here. We got to get a transmission jack on it. We got to take the wires off of that starter because I have a new high torque starter for this high compression motor. And get that off, get the transmission up, get that motor set down in here. Before No Name Nationals, I am going to reroute my brake lines, because when I routed them, I went down beside the frame here, and they need to be on the outside of the frame, away from the exhaust. I also do plan on getting some fender well exit headers, which means they go through the sides of the fender well here. So all this stuff will have to be moved anyway. I'm going to go with a manual brake booster and put it up against there. So all the brake stuff will be rerouted. For now, I'm just going to leave it like it is. And hopefully I have just enough vacuum that I can stop this thing at the end of that track. There's dirt everywhere under here. We had a sandstorm, or dirt storm. The wind was blowing so hard that everything was just covered in dirt. So I may blow some of this off real quick and then get started on this. So here we go. Well, we got it set down in here. I got the motor mount bolts in, transmission's bolted up, starter's on. I got to get under there and hook up the torque converter. Got to put the headers on. I got some RTV setting up a little bit right now. We're going to stick the tunnel ram on here, check our hood clearance, see if we got to cut a hole in that baby. I'm sure we'll have to. If we don't, we're going to put spacers on there so that we do. But yep, the 481's bolted in. I'm going to get everything hooked up. It's not going to take too long. We're going to be there before we know it. Alright, we've got the 481 sitting in here. Got the intake bolted on. I just set the carburetors up there to check hood clearance, and they do touch the hood, so I'm going to have to cut the hole out. I wouldn't be able to put breathers on it anyway unless I cut a big hole. Headers are on, torque converter's bolted up. I've got to put the power steering on, but I'm not going to do that because I got to get a timing pointer. I don't have a timing pointer on here right now. And then fuel pump. I just got to hook the fuel system up, drop the distributor in, and set some timing. We'll be ready to fire this thing up. Getting close. We are back out here again on Candy Cane. It is the next day. Yesterday we got the 481 with the tunnel ram set down in Candy Cane, and we got most of it hooked up. Today we're going to work on the exhaust. I've got some 3-inch exhaust tube here. I got some 3-inch Schoenfeld. These are dirt track mufflers. Not really much of a muffler. But we're going to put those on there. They're going to be super loud, like straight pipes pretty much. And there's Benjamin. And we've got some exhaust tips if we need them. We're going to put exhaust tips on. We got the MIG welder set up yesterday. And we're going to try this out. It's the first time I've got this hooked up. And we're going to be working on that. Anyway, we're going to get the exhaust put on. And I've got to rewire the distributor. I'm going from a HEI to a Mallory Unilite distributor that'll fit back behind the tunnel ram. Right back here, not much room. You can't get an HEI in there, so I've got a smaller distributor going in. It's real windy out here today. Wind's blowing super hard. But I've got the collectors already mounted. We'll look at those. Yep, collectors right there, and everything will just pushes into place, and we weld it up. And I've got some hangers here also, and we'll get those hangers put in to support the exhaust at the back of the truck. And then we'll try to get this thing fired up hopefully tomorrow, because I've only got 4 days off this week to finish this truck and get it running. After these 4 days, we're going into a shutdown at work, and I've got to work like 14 days straight. I will get 1 day off in there on the 27th to go to tailgate throwdown to race. So whatever I get done today and the next 2 days is where I'm going to be at. Testing will probably come when I get to the track, so we'll just do the best we can. I've also got to cut a hole in the hood because there's no room for the carbs. They actually hit the hood when you close it. They're touching the hood, they push it up, so I've got to get a hole cut, and we got to get some air cleaners or some filters or stacks or something to go on this thing. But let's get started on that exhaust. Alright, we got both of the exhaust pieces tacked on up under the truck, and we've got how we want to weld it in. I was going to just weld it all in underneath the truck, but this wind's blowing so hard out here, it keeps blowing all my shield away, and it just it's got a crappy weld. I tried doing it on this one. This one down here don't look too great, so I'm going to have to become a grinder and then a welder to fix that. So anyway, we'll get this all welded up, get the exhaust back under there. We're not going to use the exhaust tips because it actually puts the exhaust too close to the rear tires, and I don't want that. So we're going to get this all welded up and then get them stuck back under the truck, and then we'll be done with the exhaust. Well, we got the exhaust on. I ended up having to take it off, bring it in here, as you've seen, weld it up out of the wind because this wind's blowing so hard that I couldn't get any good welds out here. But here's what we got. Yeah, the wind's horrible today. We got 3-inch exhaust with a little muffler, and it's almost to the back of the truck. Comes right about here, so we are past the cab with the exhaust, which makes us legal to race in the street class. So we'll get this old street truck back going real soon. And if you couldn't hear what I just said, that exhaust gets us just past the cab, which makes it legal for us to race in the street class. So we'll get this street truck going as soon as possible. Alright, it's been a long day. I've got most of the stuff done to Candy Kane. I just put some oil in here. I'm going to stop by tomorrow and get some zinc additive to throw in this engine. I got to pull this carburetor back off, open it up, make sure the floats are set right. The back carburetor, it was working perfect. I'm going to put some new studs in it and get that one bolted down. I still got to cut a hole in the hood. Spark plugs in the morning. I'm working on throttle linkage now. I have the truck side done. I'm working on the linkage that goes in between the carburetors, which is right here. I bought the biggest one, longest one I could off of eBay, and I've got to extend it 2 inches, so I'm getting ready to weld this up, making that longer, and I'll clean it up and shoot it with a little paint. Don't really matter, it goes with the truck. Truck's not perfect, so this don't have to be either. It's just got to function. But just about there. I should be firing this thing up tomorrow, as soon as I get those spark plugs in. And I got to finish topping off the water, and then we'll get it fired up, and I'll have that on video. I do need to order a better coil. This is one off of it's actually got a Dodge, it's got a Mopar symbol on it. It came with a 318 or 360, I think, that I got from Russell that come out of an RV. So I just threw it on there because I have it. I'll get a high voltage coil to go on here, and see if we can get this thing working. It's been a good one. I bet he broke out.